Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Nala is here with me on my lap right now, so if you see any movement, that's what's going on. Okay, so before we get into today's video, I am fortunate enough to have a sponsor today, and that sponsor is Aura. But before I actually get into the video, I do have a little message about them and the service they provide, and I would appreciate if you guys would listen to it. It's not that long, and there is something at the end that is very useful to me. So, when I was offered this sponsor and when I was learning about Aura for the first time, I did that thing where I Googled myself to see how much data is exposed, how much of my information is out there. And it actually was pretty scary to see because you could easily find all sorts of private personal information about me, my address, my previous addresses, my phone numbers, the names, addresses, and phone numbers of people I have lived with and previously lived with, family members, addresses and phone numbers, previous employers, even crazy things like the square footage of the place that I currently live and how much it sold for the last time it was sold, just really insane information that you wouldn't imagine. And that was just on the free websites that anyone can access just by Googling. So I don't even want to think about the information that's out there available if you were to go to one of those pay websites where you pay somebody to try and dig deep and get more information about you, or on the dark web. So this is where Aura comes in handy, because that's scary stuff. It's unsettling to think that anyone with an internet connection can access such private details about my life. The thought of strangers, or even worse, scammers and identity thieves having access to this information is truly frightening. And that's why I've started using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura helps me take back control of my personal information by showing me which data brokers are selling my details and automatically submitting opt-out requests on my behalf. But Aura does so much more to protect me. Recently, AT&T revealed over 72 million customer records, both existing and former customers, were released on the dark web. AT&T recommended those affected use strong passwords, monitor account activity, and consider credit freezes or fraud alerts from credit bureaus. Well, Aura does all of that for me. And best of all, I don't have to download several different apps just because a company couldn't keep my data secure. If my info was compromised in the AT&T data breach, I wouldn't worry because Aura is always on, always doing the hard work of keeping me safe. I value my privacy and I value yours too, and that's why I highly recommend giving Aura a try. You can go to aura.com/mollyb. You can see right here below me to start a 2-week free trial. Also, there is a link in the description below. So again, if you go to aura.com/mollyb, you can get a 2-week completely free trial. And if you sign up for just the free trial, I get some benefits as well. So if you want to support the channel at the same time, you can do that just by signing up for a free trial. So, all right. Let's get into today's video. Thanks for listening, guys. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and to another reaction video. Today we're starting another reaction series. I didn't expect to be doing another reaction series so soon, but then I realized that this premiered and I have to watch it, and I thought it would be fun to do reactions. So we are going to be watching X-Men '97 together. I'm really excited about this show. I'm a huge fan of X-Men. X-Men are by far my favorite in any, superhero genre. Anything, whether you're talking about TV shows, movies, comics, games, X-Men, always my favorite. Best girl, the queen, the goddess. Yes, always. So I also was a huge fan of the original series of this when I was a kid. My sister and I used to watch all the episodes over and over and over again. I love X-Men, so I'm really excited that this is happening. And they dropped 2 episodes to start with. The first one is called To Me, My X-Men, which is pretty sick. It's pretty awesome. So I'm ready to just jump right into this and keeping my fingers crossed that it's going to be good. I know there's been a lot of people that were concerned ahead of time because the animation is apparently somewhat different. But yeah, I'm just excited, so hoping for the best. So let's get into it. Episode 1 of X-Men 97. Here we go. This is a very crucial moment here. The intro is very crucial. Ooh, Jean with the long hair? Okay, and there's... Oh my god, the music is so good! Some of these are like the almost shot for shot, but they've like changed it slightly. What? That was perfectly done. Perfectly done. Oh my god.
I am Storm, mistress of the elements. Surrender the boy, or face my fury.
Ah!
I'm afraid of you, you witch.
You should be.
Then you are a fool.
Boot it up, boys. X-Men are like roaches. You see one, more are coming.
I mean, the X-Men are a gang. They do jump you. Cyclops!
Deals. Good guy or bad?
Bad guys saved the kid, got home safe. These beignets needed me more than you did, mon ami.
Okay, Gambit.
Humanity had retrofitted Sentinel weaponry. Do you have any idea what that means, Gambit?
Means you get to howling like a lonely
Ooh.
kettle left on a fiery stove. We've rodeoed more sentinels than I care to count.
Oh my god,
It's no
I love
recipe
Rogue's
for me to
voice.
stuff than you think.
Rogue always come to Gambit's rescue.
Mhm.
Rogue, the professor.
And you're gonna die of a stroke.
Rogue is right, Cyclops.
What?
Scott, while I trust that
This
all
morph.
my students would gladly die for
Morph, I
the
don't know if that's really what you should be
where both
doing.
human and mutant live free
Like, that's
from
kind
disdain
of
for fun.
morbid.
I would prefer it be avoided.
Stop being a creep.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, he's got the laugh.
Look like Cyclops.
These are
What?
We are nature's favored children. A new age begins as we build a bright mutant future.
What the?
Video games are for nerds.
Oh my god, it's the danger room?
It's the danger room. It's where we train. That's
That's-
Magneto,
that's
the professor's
Ah!
They had different takes on mutant-human coexistence.
N-
So what
It's
do
one
you
way to
do?
put it.
Fly, teleport, shoot gold balls from your.
Oh!
Show the ladies some respect.
Oh, so scary, Jubilee. Can we stop now?
Computer and
Oh!
program.
He's like, whoa!
Scary enough for you, bub?
Take Jubilee. Actually, all of you could stand to act a little more like X-Men. Go with them.
Hey now, we didn't do a dang thing.
Took the words right out of my
Oh boy.
Gene may take the Boy Scout routine summers, but I don't much go in for being bossed around.
Fry me a roll, Wolverine.
Logan,
See, the old tension is there, as always.
please.
He's like, ah, god damn it.
What
I
Guy
can't,
did
I
was
can't
pretty
say no
horrible.
to Jean.
Want to know the worst part about the professor being
Gotta
gone?
listen to Scott.
You.
Knew it. I knew it.
If I was down there and one of them brushed against my skin, my power sapping touch would leave him with a nasty hand.
Aw, poor Rogue.
Any worthwhile man would gladly suffer your hand in a dance.
It's cool. It's cool looking.
10 years, Gyrick. Yours to win or lose.
I won the day I shot the man you freak shows look up to.
Is he
And
just
you get
wanting
an
to
A
get
for
killed?
effort, Mr. Summers, but we both know you're no Charles Xavier.
You're right. I'm not Charles Xavier. He'd reason with you. Be
Uh-oh.
patient. He'd do everything in his power to save you.
Save me from what? You?
No, but have you met my wife?
Ooh! Jean's about to get in his head!
Weakens your mind, Mr. Gyrick. Cerebro amplifies my psychic powers, allowing me to
Let's go,
penetrate your
Jean.
thoughts from any distance I please.
Get out of my head!
Jean, what's... Where is she being dragged? Well, that's a horrifying vision.
Jean, come in.
I'm here. I'm here, Scott.
Oh, shit. Uh-oh. Yep.
Solid work, team. See you on the ground.
How about you? Holy shit. He really landed like that.
To me, my X-Men.
Woo! Mhm.
Give him the forecast.
Omega level threat detected! Oh my god.
Movement sands, heed my command and reclaim these relics of hatred.
Woo! Let's go, Storm! See? She's the queen, the goddess. She is everything. Everything!
As all of you. And with that said, Jean and I have an announcement.
You're bailing on us to go raise your little one someplace nice and normal.
Logan, we're not bailing. Cyclops and Jean were the first X-Men. If they're gone, who the heck is gonna lead the team?
Sensors show the intruder has breached the professor's old office.
Charles Xavier was the finest man I knew.
Magneto?
Differences. He never ceased to have faith in our friendship, nor forgive my many failings. Perhaps that is why the old fool has done this.
Magneto, what are you doing in our
He left the school to Magneto?
No, I beg to differ, Cyclops.
They're doing this?
Will and testament of Charles Francis Xavier.
They're doing
As
this?
you all will see, his fortune, his school, everything he built, everything he fought for, now belongs to me. My
X-Men. It's over! Ah! Oh my god, they have this at the end too. I love it. I love it. Okay, that was episode 1 of X-Men 97, and I loved everything about it. Everything. I'm completely happy about everything. The animations look great. I know some people were concerned about that, but no reason to be. The intro and the kind of updates that they did to it, as well as the updates to the song, are fantastic. Amazing. All the like little references to things that they were able to put in there, and it had the same exact feeling in terms of like the characters, the way that they were speaking. You know, Beast with his little comments, and Rogues with her little metaphors, and just all of it had that same feeling to it. I'm really curious where they're gonna go with the Magneto with the X-Men storyline, how this is gonna play out, because there's a lot of different directions that this could potentially go, and I'm curious like how many stories are going to be drawing from the comics, and how many are going to be like original takes. I really loved that they gave that much respect to Storm, because she is an Omega level mutant. Like, she is one of the most powerful mutants. So it's awesome that she was given that respect, and she was given like some great moments to show off her abilities. I also feel like they gave a lot of respect to Cyclops, which is cool, especially because if you watch the Fox movies, you know that Cyclops wasn't given the most respect as a character in those movies. And I mean, James Marsden was fine and everything, It wasn't him. It's just that the way that it was written, you know, the movies were very strongly focused on Logan, on Wolverine, as kind of like the core. And even though, you know, Scott was team leader under the Professor in the movies, even though he still was that, he didn't he wasn't much of like a character on his own, if you know what I mean. If you watch those movies, he was almost just like a plot device, as like a someone for Logan to have an antagonism with, and to cause the Jean love triangle. Like, you didn't, and I mean, obviously we know what they did to him in the third one. I don't. So I'm just saying, it's nice to see Cyclops as we know him, and getting some respect here too. So the first episode was great, and I'm gonna watch the second one right away. That flew by for me. It was exciting all the way through. So I want to hear you guys' thoughts. Whether you're somebody that came to X-Men from the original animated series, or from the comics, or from the movies, and this is the first time you're watching an animated version, or, you know, if this is your first experience with X-Men, whatever your position is, let me know what you thought about that, this, in relation to that. And yeah, time for me to get into the second one. Is entitled Mutant Liberation Begins. Okay, that's exciting, especially since the first episode left off with the arrival of Magneto at the school, announcing to all of the X-Men that the Professor had left him everything in his will. And Magneto's like, so my X-Men. So I'm really curious where this is gonna go. Very curious. Yeah, so the first episode was fantastic. Everything all the way through, I loved everything about it. So check out my reaction to episode 1, and I talk about it quite a bit at the end if you want to hear my thoughts on it, but we'll just suffice to say I loved it. So we're gonna get into episode 2 now without wasting any more time. Here we go. I'm never gonna skip these opening credits, so I'm just never gonna do it. It's never gonna happen. Woo! Magneto! Magneto at the beginning, holy shit. He was first.
Art? Is that who I think it is? Saving humans?
Wow, this is a very different outfit.
Tell how recent events will impact
Mutant terrorist
human
turned
relations.
hero.
One thing is
Scott
clear
does not
about
look happy.
humans and mutants.
I don't get it, Jean. Did the Professor not trust me?
Maybe we're seeing this wrong.
Oh.
The depths you humans go.
Oh boy.
Even denying these outcasts the indignity of your waste. Electricity and magnetism are intimately acquainted. How unfortunate for you that I am the master of magnetism. No. And I promise you, child, you shall never be afraid.
What is this new outfit? Like, this is Magneto Fabulous time?
Thinking. The only safe and sure way to destroy your enemy is to make him your friend. Mark Twain.
Beast isn't wrong.
Yeah, like, I feel like a lot of this
Magneto leading the X-Men.
would, of course, had to do with, like,
Maybe we
what
go
he thought
check.
it would lead Magneto to
Many of
do.
us at this table have passed so dirty they don't squeak no matter how much spit you got.
And we'll improve, my X-Men.
Guess we can assume those jerks in the sewer are
Alive, but not unharmed. The tragic fact that I did not consign those sapiens to the waste bin of history is proof of my desire to honor Charles Xavier's dream of mutant
Wow.
human
He says it like,
prove it. Let Jean scan your.
Like it or not, this is what the professor wanted.
Please. My intentions here were not to cause drama or discord.
You must understand. You have been our fiercest foe for years. A desire for you to prove yourself is only natural.
And Storm, you are the closest thing to a goddess as we will ever see.
Hell yeah.
So, I do not lightly deny your request and demand your trust instead.
Maybe he was wrong.
After all our tete-a-tetes, you have finally realized what I did ages ago. Even Charles Xavier can make a mistake.
I mean, that just makes you sound more suspicious.
Haven't
I'm
you
not here to
listened
cause
since
drama.
the
Causes
blue
tons of
area
drama
moon?
instantly.
I was possessed by.
Could still.
Back when we were friends, I would always sense Charles in my mind.
Hmm.
Not invading.
Oh, so he just misses
I was in
him.
his thoughts
He
and
misses
they
him.
mine. When we parted ways, Xavier's sacrifice brought about a world more tolerant towards mutants. I am indebted to honor his last wish, even if his X-men won't trust me.
I mean,
Perhaps they're right not to. My past.
we know that how much love and respect they had for each other, so.
But the X-Men, that was a long time ago, Eric.
What?
And that cat's gotta stay in its bag. You hear me?
They're doing this? Not Rogue and Magneto. They're not doing Rogue and Magneto, are they?
Ready yourselves, I successfully vindicate myself in what I will generously assume is a fair trial. Will I earn your trust?
That is how due process works.
Oh.
Then
This is him following Rogue's advice. That he's gonna accept being put on trial at the UN.
I yield.
They're all like, what?
Pay. Folks out there want the UN's head just as much as his. Stir the pot, boys, and keep them distracted. I'll only have
So you're gonna try to kill Magneto, but
Defendant may now speak.
at the UN, you think this is gonna help your cause?
Nation will not heal mutant wounds. You build robots to hunt us, collars to chain our power.
Humanity must protect itself.
Protection. That is extermination. I have only ever acted to avenge
I mean,
crimes against my people. As you act,
he's trying so hard to like combine his philosophy with Charles's right now.
Are we truly to believe then that in the face of what you consider to be extermination, you would walk Charles Xavier's path?
Not the worst thing is don't go Magneto's way, don't you think?
Jean, gotta get into the city. Crowds lost their blasted mind.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
He's here.
Apocalypse.
Oh no! The baby! The way he was like ready to go with if it was an apocalypse, and then when he realized it was the baby, he looked so terrified. Oh my god.
Get out the way!
Executioner. Here to make sure gene freaks like Magneto pay for their
Executioner. Bitch.
Mutants.
Uh-oh.
Know what I hate about your kind? You act like you got it so bad. Normal people have it hard too. Harder. We just have the dignity not to whine.
Bro, all you are doing is whining.
It's the whining.
All this guy's doing is whining. Continuous whining.
I hate you.
What? Oh, it's Morph! Ah! That was badass! Psylocke?
Scott, hurry!
Jean.
Is he about to make it?
See how their moral manners fare against the shock of good conduct.
Okay, that's badass. That is badass. Put them in a literal cage of lightning.
Go.
The breeze is gone. I cannot feel it. Nor the moisture, nor the air.
They're doing this?
To me.
Magneto, this was not what we wanted.
Lie.
Uh-oh.
This is your dream. My kind knights laid before you, powerless and afraid. All the X-Men have done is use their awesome power to protect a world that hates and fears them. Behold their reward.
Oh, Storm!
What must we do to... I would smite you all for what was done to Storm. But today, I have saved you from your own. For an old friend has challenged me to remember this view of Earth. How vast it is, versus how small we make it.
Oh.
Charles Xavier entrusted me with his dream, and it does not ask you to love or embrace my kind as your own, but merely to accept that this is a shared world with a common future, and that my kind, like yours, have the right to live in it. I am trying to be better. Please. Do not make me let you down.
That's I like that, Magneto. It's quite the thing.
Well, doesn't he need a name?
Into the United Nations.
Poison?
Dark roast.
Poison?
Her collar itself. Aurora.
How long?
Additional tests will be needed before...
Hank, please. How long?
The effects appear permanent.
We'll fix this. Scott and I aren't going anywhere, okay? Not until you're well again. Well, please, you need to contact me on...
Connection is a fragile treasure. One we sacrifice so much to maintain.
Oh my god.
Only to then sometimes watch it break in a blink that changes your life forever.
No! Not the Queen of Hearts! He dropped the Queen of Hearts.
1 minute. Storm will spend a day schlepping it with the basic folk and come right home, happy as a... Ha! What did I say? She's back! Jean?
I need the X-Men.
What? Jean?
Ah! What? That's quite a cliffhanger for them to leave us with, to have to wait until next week for more episodes. They're doing that storyline? Wow, wow, wow. Okay, alright, guys. So, another fantastic episode that flew by. I thought, this is great, this is fantastic. There was a lot of times that I probably said they're doing that, or they're doing that story, or so. I don't really want to say exactly what's going to happen, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't know how these storylines go. But just suffice it to say that in the comics, there are a lot of storylines that they're pointing at them potentially doing this season in this very episode, including, you know, ones surrounding Storm losing her powers, surrounding the double Jean situation, and I just thought about something. In the first episode, when Jean's in Cerebro, and you suddenly see the eyes, and she was like, there's someone. That was... Okay, it's gonna come. I'm not gonna say anything, but I realize that's what's going on here. Yeah. And anyway, so it's exciting and kind of crazy, the storylines it seems like they're gonna be going with. It seems like a lot, but I'm looking forward to it because so far these first 2 episodes have been fantastic. They did a great job with the montages in this episode too. Both the one where Jean is in the process of giving birth while Magneto is giving his speech, which was a badass speech and perfect for Magneto, by the way. He's still He's still got the fire. He's still Magneto, even if he's trying to be good, as he said. And then there was one during Storm's speech, which flashed to a variety of different things, including another thing that I was saying, a storyline. There's the Rogue Magneto. Now, personally, I love Rogue and Gambit, so I'm not really a fan of this, and I hope that I mean, maybe they're just gonna like kind of play with us to cause some tension here, and ultimately she doesn't go with Magneto. It's her and Gambit. I don't know. There's some potential things that this could also lead to that I'm not going to get into spoilers about, but yeah. I'm not sure how I feel about that because I just love Rogue and Gambit, but the Queen of Hearts thing was really sad. That was really sad. And what else did they cut to? Oh, I thought it was really interesting what they've shown throughout the first couple episodes with the Wolverine Morph dynamic about their friendship. The way that Morph teases, like, and that who he transforms into at different times is kind of wild. Besides that Professor X thing in the first episode, which, like I said, was kind of morbid, yeah. But then he's teasing Wolverine and in the first episode, and he shifts into Jean, and then he's trying to get Wolverine's attention and tease him into coming out of the tree and stop pouting. In this episode, and he shifts into Sabretooth. So he's like, he just really, it's like one of those situations though, right, where you have a really good friend and you can kind of pick at each other's soft spots in a fun way that's still kind of loving. You know, it just shows like how close they must really be, right? But then speaking of Morph, that scene in the fight where he was transforming into the different characters was badass. Psylocke in particular, that was amazing. That was super cool to see. And I think, of course, the other thing that everyone was wondering in this episode and throughout the course of the episode is not just why Professor X would leave everything to Magneto, but why Magneto would have the change of heart and decide to come in. And I think, you know, they tried to have him explain it somewhat, but I think it all just comes down to understanding the depth of their friendship and love for each other. And, you know, for the professor, I think it's possibly a combination of him wanting Eric to come around to his idea and to live a better life, and seeing this as a way to push him towards that, coupled with maybe thinking that he does have some things to offer the X-Men too, and that working together, they might actually become a pretty formidable force. But for Magneto, I think it just really all comes down to, first of all, that Charles gave his life in the protection of mutants, but also that he was entrusting him. It's like the honor of it, the respect that Charles showed by entrusting his life's work and everything he believed in and the people he loved the most over to Eric. So because he had so much love and respect for Charles himself, he feels like, I have to actually try. So he's gonna actually give it a go, right? And he seems to be making a genuine effort, so far at least. So yeah, again, another fantastic episode. I can't wait for next week. As always, I want to hear you guys' thoughts in the comments. I want to know what you thought about this episode, you know, anything in it. I'll just say, don't panic too much, Storm lovers. She's my favorite also, but, you know, I'll just say don't panic too much without getting into it. Today we're going to be watching episode 3 of X-Men 97. Alright, so if you saw my reactions to the first 2 episodes, you know I was really enjoying it, really into this show so far, very pleased with this updated version. And yeah, I'm just excited to see where we go from here, especially with the appearance of what looks like a second Jean. So I'm really interested to see how they're developing these famous storylines. for this new series. So yeah, so let's get into it. The episode 3 of X-Men 97. The title is Fire Made Flesh. Here we go.
But who she is or where she came from remains a mystery.
Well, this isn't gonna get confusing or anything. Let's call this mystery gal in the bed Jean Doe. All in favor?
Every moment is a new and shocking valuation of all we have ever been.
Oh my God.
Friends, words will fail to prepare you.
Uh-oh.
But the Jean that lies on this couch would appear to be the actual Jean Grey.
What do you mean, the actual Jean Grey?
Clone.
Impossible!
Jean, I assure
Yep.
you, the science is sound.
But I have memories.
I feel like you
Her
could have
mind
broken
is
it to her a little more
fragments.
gently, Beast.
Science could have been manipulated by someone with wicked intentions. Scott, tell them.
Nope. Oh. Uh-oh.
You know me.
We just have to be sure.
Storm would have believed me.
I mean, she would have been wrong then if she did, because that's definitely the real Jean. You know.
Okay.
Now I feel comfortable saying that this Jean clone thing
I can
and her being the clone,
Beast tests
being the
will change
mother,
The fact that I'm Nathan's mother.
you know,
I know. No one is saying
that's a real thing.
Just
Uh-oh.
Scientists, like artists, have signatures to their work. I know who cloned Jean. A man so dark and twisted he can be described as nothing other than sinister.
I don't understand. Who are Nathan?
Yes, that's why I made you. Baked you.
Baked you! That's
I'm
creepy.
Jean Grey?
Come to me. Only I can usher you and your son to your royal destiny.
You'll come nowhere near my son.
Every cell in you belongs to me. You're mine.
That's cool looking. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh!
Mommy's busy.
Ah! Goblin Queen transformation! That's sick!
They shall
Oh my God. That was sick. That was sick. That was sick.
Bon ami, maybe Gambit should have played less rough with you in the danger room, n'est-ce pas?
No. As if we all don't know.
What the fuck?
say it ain't so.
Get on back to the swamp with the rest of them nasty thieving critters, Remy.
Oh! The Goblin Queen is messing with their brains.
Get out. We're in hell.
Oh. I mean... minds are being manipulated by a powerful psychic who's under the control of
While I
Sinister.
share
You mean...
Sinister's apparent affection for Dante's Inferno, I must ask how he's exerting this much power over our perceptions of reality.
No, this is the clone. Roberto, look out!
It's in your heads!
Jean.
The real Jean?
Jean.
Faints again. Real Jean.
Pathetic. What does he even see in you?
Sinister's controlling you. You don't have to do this.
Who doesn't? Me? Who am I? Say my name, Scott. No? Allow me. I am beyond Jean Grey, beyond the X-Men. I am scorn and fury, forged in righteous brimstone. I am the
Yeah.
Goblin Queen! This was just a taste of what waits for you if you follow.
Should have been here.
You're okay, Shia. Gambit okay now.
Cyclops, status report.
Sinister created the clone.
Mm-hmm.
He made her so he could get his hands on our son.
Mr. Sinister? Sinister's the most evil man who ever existed. He was a scientist in the 1800s. Then he started cutting up mutants, stealing our DNA to enhance himself, prolong his life. He can even take away their will.
Mm-hmm.
I should
Oh,
know.
the classic morph. Uh-oh.
She must not remember how to entirely control her.
Sinister has plagued us far too long.
Oh boy.
And it is time the madman pay for his malevolent appropriations.
I can show you where he is.
Are you sure, Morph?
I'm not gonna let him hurt anyone.
Rogue, Wolverine, Beast, tend to our wounded. I will lead the others in a surgical strike.
Fine. Lead the way.
Be made invulnerable. A new breed of perfect creations will be born this night by my will and genius.
Sinister is such a messed up villain.
Clone.
Oh boy. Magneto music is so awesome.
I applaud your magnetism. But my telekinetic charm extends beyond mere metal.
Uh-oh. Yeah, gotta protect yourself from the glass.
Look at you. A villain playing dress-up as a hero. I should have you as a toy.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That would be really bad. That would end up being really bad.
Scott! He's in danger. I have to go.
My dear, you are not going
The ponytail!
Your body is in no condition.
Beast, please. My body won't be an issue.
Huh?
This ends now.
Ooh.
Family, and now my mind. Enough violation.
I mean, I understand why she would feel that way, but it's kind of the other way around.
Me, power incarnate.
You are not.
Power. Is that all you can remember?
Yes, remember, while you're being manipulated into doing all this stuff by Sinister, he's got your baby. Because you definitely had the baby. Even if the rest wasn't you.
Look, he has your eyes.
Well, doesn't he need a name?
I was thinking. Nathan, how could I forget? He's more than a memory. He's a living reminder of the purest love two people can share. And no one can ever take that away from you. This is the greatest moment of...
Let's go save Nathan.
Well done, Jean. I feel like most people, characters or otherwise, would not deal so well with their clone, like as sympathetically as Jean did.
Our son.
Nathan.
You monster! What have you done?
Sinister's variant is too advanced. It could take months, even years to develop a cure. And the virus is already spreading rapidly. There's no time.
So what you're saying is not here, not in our time. But what if there's a cure in yours, Bishop? In the future, Beast's nearly fixed your time band.
I do know a guy there. Smart. Anything. This band only got enough juice for Nathan.
So they gotta give up their baby.
Meaning, we can't go with you.
Oh, no. There has to be another way. I won't be like my father.
I mean, that's not what you'd be doing here,
son.
Scott.
Can't be a part of this. I'm sorry.
Scott really, let fake Jean down in many ways this episode.
There'll be days When you're lonely or scared, where you ask yourself why we did this. Was something wrong? But you are perfect, my baby.
It's really pretty heartbreaking. That's a beautiful scene, though.
All we have now is the future. An unknowable future.
I'm pretty confident it's the real Jean was Phoenix.
Past. My next life will be mine. Take care, Jean. Call me Madeline Pryor. Farewell, Madeline. Farewell, Jean.
Hmm. Yeah, that's gotta be awkward. Alright, so that was episode 3 of X-Men 97. They're definitely moving quickly through some of these storylines, which is what I talked about last time I thought was going to have to happen, because it seemed like they were trying to do a ton at once in just a few episodes, which, you know, is fine with me. There's tons of X-Men storylines, and I also, you know, kind of assume they're coming into this without a certainty of whether they'd be doing more than one season, so they wanted to do a bunch of cool stuff. So yeah, considering how condensed it had to be, I think that they did a really good job with the whole Goblin Queen Madeline Pryor situation. Yeah, I think I definitely feel like if it was anyone other than Jean who had been cloned and who had a somewhat evil-ish, not really evil, but manipulated clone of her sent to replace her, who got with her husband and had a child with him and took over her life, I don't think that those conversations would have been nearly as civil and understanding. Because Jane was quite understanding and trying to, like, say to her, you know, that's your child still, and was made out of love, and the bond will never go away, and even at the end saying, you belong here too, you know, we have the same memories. So even though, you know, you were created, it's kind of like there's two of me out there, which is a crazy concept to begin with, but yeah. So just kind of shows you about Jean's character. Meanwhile, Scott, I get it, you know, he has the abandonment issue, and he didn't know what to do when the other Jean, the real Jean, arrived and Beast revealed that she was the real Jean. Because, of course, he loved Jean so much that if he heard that the person he was with was a fake Jean, he was not gonna handle that well. And on top of that, there were some things that this Jean had said and done, Madeline, that maybe he felt was surprising, or that he didn't think his Jean would do, like really wanting to leave the X-Men. So it was kind of like, when it was revealed, a part of him felt like, oh, this is obviously true. Nonetheless, I feel like he really dropped the ball on trying to support Madeline, fake Jean, through this crisis situation. She's still someone who you have loved, and who has loved you, and who has had your child. And you kind of just said, I can't deal with this twice, and just threw your hands up, like, I can't deal with this in terms of figuring out who the real Jean is, and then I can't deal with this in terms of saving your son. At least, I mean, you did come through and try to help her when she went with Sinister, but I don't know. It's just, you could see that he was emotionally frozen. But there were some really cool shots in this too. The scene of Madeline when she is sending off Nathan, and then she's just standing there by herself outside under the trees, and that was really very pretty. And I really liked the Magneto versus Goblin Queen scene. The Goblin Queen transformation was also very sick. That was very, very cool. Yeah. Episode 4 of X-Men 97. All right, so I'm excited to see what's going to happen, especially with Storm's storyline in here. Hopefully she's back in the credits, but I wonder if they're not going to put her back in until she has powers. So that would be an interesting idea, because that would be suggesting like the powers are essential to the being of an X-Men. Or is it just that she needs to come back and officially like say, I'm an X-Man, again, I'm joining. I don't know, but we'll see. And presumably also this means Bishop won't be in the credits anymore since he left with Nathan back to the future at the end of episode 3. But we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the show so far. Can't wait to watch this next episode. It is called Motendo / Life Death Part 1. Ooh. Okay. Very cool. I know some of what's coming. It's a part 1 though. Alright, so let's get into it. Episode 4 of X-Men 97. Here we go.
Abby found a little extra. Here, take some cream.
Aw, thanks, Remy. You're sweet. But our new boss beat you to the pot.
It's 3 sugars.
Oh boy.
I'll take a cappuccino if you just take an orders.
No. Luckily, I am giving them. After breakfast,
Oh,
the
no.
X-Men will report to the danger room for drills. We must be ready should Mr. Sinister resurface.
Surely our youngest member deserves some jubilation on her 18th birthday.
I second the Blue Rogaine ad. Kid deserves it.
Jubilee.
Blue Rogaine ad!
Days should she learn to master her powers to face a world that despises her.
Yo, someone's daddy didn't get him a pony for his sweet 16th.
Well, no, his dad was dead.
when
Yeah.
I was a child.
I was like, okay, sorry.
He turns 18 today. Maker, I know, but let's go to the arcade. It'll be just like old times. What do we think? The bar of childish make-believe. This is bogus.
I was gonna say, I couldn't imagine Magneto going and hanging out in an arcade.
Or Cyclops in his latest control issue.
Oh boy.
They aren't even. He said they had some surprises. Days looking up. Let's play.
Uh-oh.
I'd rather me and Wayne find out I'm a mutant than be caught dead playing that.
What's it doing?
Video games are not uncool anymore, okay? Oh shit. Yeah, this is not a happy birthday surprise from the group.
What time is it?
It's like the video game is sending her to different events in the X-Men's past, as though they're like levels in the game, right?
Was that you, Hot Topic stalker, calling us earlier on the phone?
You? The old X-Men are totally old school.
Who's the boss?
Magneto. Storm.
Oh my god.
Worlds.
Oh my god.
Summers versus Gray.
That's not X-Men. You're my X-Men, Jubilee.
Meta.
So
Meta.
What's the rush?
No,
Levels
see,
are taking me
I told you she was enjoying this too much.
Listen to
Like, you could
yourself.
die.
None of this is real. Sooner or later, you gotta grow up. Otherwise, reality will smack you right in the face.
No need for thank you among friends. And by friends, I mean you. I hacked you out of the game server and into Mojo's broadcast servers to buy us some time.
She sounds like Jubilee.
Twist. She's in league with Mojo.
Zip it, DaCosta.
Older Jubilee? I knew it!
We go way back.
Roberto, you could have.
Yeah. Talk about risk.
Knew that was coming.
To reversing what the executioner did to you wasn't making an inverted version of its radiation.
It was creating a machine that could safely channel such power.
Ah, you've been listening. Last power differential clicked in my head when we were out riding. Like I said, helps to get...
Okay, Aurora, give it a try.
Winds, heed my command. I am Storm, mistress of the elements, rise winds and move the desert sands. Please, winds, hear me.
This is depressing.
Please. This isn't happening.
After the war, I didn't have the resources to build what I so easily saw in my mind. The Defense Department offered to help me. As long as I helped
About to
them
reveal
build
the
some
truth.
Devices that could be used to neutralize dangerous mutants.
No. No, no, no.
You meant to make me a goddess.
Instead, you have fashioned a fool.
Oh shit. Storm's not being won over by the charm.
By all things in the heavens.
Get out of my home, you damn demon!
Sparing, I feast on misery.
Man, they did a good job of making this look horrifying.
Shall not waste my meal.
Oh, was that the end? It's gonna be, right? Yes, it was. Well, that was quite a part 1. Leaving us on a cliffhanger. Although, you know, this is something that the original series did regularly too, just leaving us on cliffhangers, so. And they kind of did that with the Jean one too at the end of episode 2, so you gotta expect it. But alright, so that was episode 4 of X-Men 97. I had fun with this episode. I will say this is probably my least favorite of the 4 so far. I think that obviously the storyline with Storm is very interesting and one that I like as a Storm fan. So I'm glad that there's a part 2 because this is like a long story that, again, like I talked about, they're having to condense everything, and this is like the most condensed if it was just like gonna be one episode. So I'm assuming that part 2 will be like a full episode dedicated to this story, and they just needed to include like a short amount in this one in order to give it the length they felt it should have, because they couldn't all fit it into one episode. I'm gonna assume that's why they chose to do this. Because yeah, the Jubilee stuff was really fun, but was not like, it sort of did feel like just a, you know, kind of fillerish, but it was fun. It was fun, don't get me wrong. And I really liked the throwbacks to classic episodes and the classic Magneto, all the video game references. I thought that was all well done and cool and fun. But yeah, definitely not as interesting to me as the other episodes. So I definitely was getting more into it at the end when they got to Storm and Forge storyline. So I'll be looking forward to part 2 of that. But yes, continuing to enjoy the show. I really liked the, you probably noticed, but in the credits when they changed to the old ponytail Jean, and you know, you realize, oh, wait a minute. Actually, she had long hair. They made that change because that wasn't Jean, that was Madeline. Because it actually is something that I was curious about. I was thinking, I wonder why they've made that change, because a lot of the others, you know, they kept the same. They changed Storm's hair in this, though, so I thought, you know, maybe it was just they wanted to change a few characters' hair. But no, there was a deeper reason, which is pretty awesome. But alright guys, I'm going to wrap this up here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do like, subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a lot more than you know. Thank you so much for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.